was better. You know, you weren't all fucking over the place. Your audio wasn't like
good.
You know, it was perfect,
Nice.
but it wasn't like forced. You know what I mean? It didn't look like you had overdubbed it. Be happy, you know. It's like, you know, like,
fight me.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it was like, all right, well, this is good. I'm like, I like this, dude. I'm like, all right, cool. This is it, man.
Yeah,
That's your wheelhouse all day.
That was good.
Boom.
And there were a couple stutters, but it was okay.
Because it's real and everybody's already into it, because like I said, you got that like that weird, like, even if you had some like maybe like some, you know, like eventually, maybe not right this one, maybe you roll this one just out like it is. I love it how it is, but like eventually you can get that, like, I always love that low like pulsing hum of like a drum or something, just to kind of like beat down real low, you know, even if you can't even hear it, even if it's like a sub bass or something, dude. There's something about like the rhythm, like of your heart, or like the rhythm of like you know, like that low bass, even when you don't even pay attention to it, that kind of sucks you in. You know, these are like manipulation techniques.
Yeah, like see if you can find. I'm not sure if I'm getting what you mean correctly. Yeah. I mean, when you say little heartbeat, okay, I can figure something. If you find something, man, I'm gonna work on that, because you're right. The video's fine. It's gonna go up on the page like any minute. It's exactly what we need, but
no, that's
now
what
let's
you roll with.
Put a little hummer behind it.
I'm just thinking about
agreed.
Future shit.
Now I'm gonna bounce that track behind it, because I'm gonna test what you're thinking.
Like a, you know, like a,
I like kind of a heartbeat
idea.
It's
atmosphere. It's not even really heartbeat. It's a beat that kind of will almost like force your body to match it in rhythm, which then will like lock you in on this thing. So like, have you ever seen like a video?
Be cool if it increased or something.
Where the guy's driving down the street at night, right? And the only thing that you see it's really lit are these street lights, right?
Yeah.
And music's like, or even like, you know, but real low, you know. And then there's like some synth or something like,
yeah, sure.
While he's driving down the street, and let's say the tempo's getting picked up because he's going to somewhere for an event to happen in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, you'll notice that like the pacing of the street lights, as like, you know, the synth hits like that, you know, and like the wheels and like the motion of the car will all be in sync to the beat.
Yeah.
And it's on purpose.
Yeah.
Because it sucks you in and it gets you into that setting, that mood, that mindset. It's a manipulation technique. That's why, like they always say, if you have like a 3-minute or a 30-second jingle, I mean, you'll have a way better retention rate than if you just have a normal commercial where you're like, you know, selling something verbally. You know, if you have a 3-minute or 30-second, I don't know why I keep saying 3 minutes, 30-second jingle or something like that.
As long as you can go.
Hardcore. You know, you'll suck them all in. That's how we all know the 588 300. Yeah. You know, all that shit, dude. Yeah, dude, that's how that works. Singing,
plug it in.
Dude, the first thing that comes out of kids' mouths.
Derek Procell, my producer on all my music, really back in Chicago, was a jingle guy. That's what he did. He was the guy on the radio with the voice that would be like, Ford trucks. He'd be like, and he'd be singing, plug it in. He'd be singing all that stuff. Like, that's how he's made a lot of his money.
Dude to fucking hook up with, because he knows.
He's interesting, right? So the great thing about Derek, nod to him, because he's a great writer, great singer, great musician, producer. But that was also something that took my music, because I enjoyed working with him. I allowed it to go a certain way. So he would say, you know, he would tell me his thoughts, and a lot of times the song would go that way and it would end up more jingly and more sing-songy. And I thought, well, it still sounds good, but it's also not what it was when I brought it.
Sure.
And so I never knew what an artist meant by
maybe sometimes good,
compromising.
Sometimes bad.
Yeah, you know, like you'll hear the artist be like, never compromise. Like be true to yourself or whatever. Yeah, because it's like
these guys will tear it up and rebuild it. You won't even recognize it. Yeah.
Yeah. And in theory, though, they're trying to make it better for what they think, but you're the one that came up with the thing. And if it's not going to sound how, you know, when you hear something, you're like, that is so cool. Like the songs I write, there's parts of songs that I write that I'm like, oh, I fucking love that part. Like this morning I was playing guitar for like a half hour. And sometimes Jenny, even though we had to leave to make it back in time, Jenny will sometimes not interrupt me because she just knows I'm feeling it. I won't stop. Like I'll just kind of play the same loop for a while, right? Which was really nice.
Oh, you get stuck. Yeah, you get like
it's great. And you play through this loop and you try different lyrics and you try different sounds and you just feel it. And I just had so much fun. But the parts of those songs though that just like really move you, I don't know where I was going with it because now you got me thinking about playing the guitar. And I was having
Uh,
so much fun this morning. Oh, it was great.
it
Anyway,
is. It is. You get in the zone, like you
oh,
were
so never
saying.
compromising. So when you're
Never
feeling that,
compromise,
and that's like
motherfuckers. Your
the
vision.
part that makes you love that part, like that's the music that you have to put out because you enjoy hearing it.
Well, dude,
Then and that's all that
they're selling
matters.
something. You don't always have to buy it.
Yeah,
You're just
exactly.
you have a good broker that knows a lot of good shit, and he's gonna give you a ton of opportunities and options.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy it all. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of too many times people will misinterpret stuff, and they'll be like, well, I got to buy it all if I sign up with this dude in the studio to produce me. And then that's like, no, that's not true. Just make it known before you guys start. Hey, man, I might not buy it all, but I love you to death, and
Yeah.
that's why you're here, and you're the best there is. So
Yeah.
if we agree on 80%,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do good here.
And he probably would have, deferred. I don't think he drew the line, but I was also kind of like, well, I'm not sure where it should go, and so at least this kicks the ball forward. And I learned a
Well,
shit ton
hindsight's
from him.
2020. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a shit ton, which we always talk about. No, that
Mhm.
music thing was fun, and being in the studio is great. I mean, my
Oh, it's the
advice would
best,
be
dude.
like, if you're doing the country music
It's
route, you
awesome.
don't have to do this, but in Nashville, I think I mentioned it before. You should go there to record at least a song or a demo with the local like studio
Talent.
guys,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Because you'll get a deal because there's a lot of them. One, but two, they
Yes.
really respect it when they like start hearing like that the
Yeah, they're
demo
dead
got cut
serious and
around
shit.
town. It's
Yeah.
they're dead serious. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of money at play, and they protect that. Songwriting teams, when like two, three, four, five guys get like a process and they have a few hits, you can't get in there. They're
No.
like, hold on a minute, we got a recipe. Let's bleed this thing out. Like
Yeah.
we're working
It's
well together.
turning out gold. Yeah.
And sooner or later, some ego gets involved. If it's not on the
And then
team,
they
it's at the
break
record
up.
label, and
Mhm.
something. We're gonna start our own, and
We'll
that's
make it. We'll make
gotta
it
be
10
fun.
times better. That happens in every business too, though.
Dude, that's what I want. That's what I want to do up at Sutton Bay, South Dakota. Rent a house out there, get guys to
Mm.
come out and record an album, and go shooting and like doing
Dude, how
pheasant, like
crazy
world
awesome would
class
that be?
pheasant hunting. I think that would be a great
Like off the grid, you just have Tesla
off the
power,
grid
solar walls, and and all that shit, and you just
killing
have
shit and
everything.
writing
You're just
music.
off. You're off the grid. You don't have to worry about power or nothing like that. You don't have to worry about any. You could get some satellite thing hooked up from the Tesla fucking Starlink that they got going up to. Dude, you could. I'm telling you, man, he's
We
hooking it
already
up
got
for
the
like
place. We
the
already got the place in
apocalypse.
South Dakota to
You
do it.
know. Dude, that's what it's all about. Did you ever look up? You know what? We're gonna do it right.
I
So
like the
let
videos
me
you
tell you
sent me
something.
today, man, talking about
Oh,
inflation and
dude,
shit. Booyah. I
yeah.
watched
Well, the
a
one is
great,
just Graham Stephan, and he's like a really, really good financial dude. He's not some jokester. The
yeah,
guy's,
I've seen a couple from him.
he's
And Ray Dalio, we know who he is. I mean,
mm,
so that was kind of nice to hear, but I
just
didn't
different takes. And
only
and
got
and
through
like
half of it.
Graham was saying, he's like, dude, he's like, what they're doing right now is going to make the stock market even better, which makes investing that much more important at this point. You have to get your money into something that's going to make more than 2% if they're going to let inflation fly up over 2%,
Yeah, that's true.
So if you hold it in cash, you're losing money, like a lot of money. And they
Yeah.
explain it in that video really good, better than I ever could. That's why I just started sending it around to people so that you could see it on the whiteboard, because he's like, here's how it works. If you take this $1, you can exchange it for a Starbucks, coffee. $1, one coffee. But when everybody's got $2 now, Starbucks knows that they can charge $2 for this coffee. So now your actual buying power has decreased by 50%. Like they explain it so good, and they show you visuals and shit, and you're like, damn, dude. But at the same time, because of something like that, investment opportunities go through the fucking roof. So if you don't have your money invested, um, you're going to lose a shit ton of money. And he explains it. He's like, the first people that are going to get hit the hardest are the people that don't have any money invested. He's like, those people will lose money hand over fist, and it just sucks. He's like, but that's what's up.
Yeah, but then think about, so I'm trying to see how this plays out, right? So I see that move, and then I see, okay, well, let's say everybody starts, now that they're comfortable moving their money into the market because they're going to get a better return, like that's their theory. And plus,
Yeah.
the banks, we're just not sure, and then like central banks, and then so people move their money into the market. Then let's say like in 1929 or whatever, there's like a crash, right? Somehow there's this crash because there's a lot of shit going on. If, at least if you had your money in the bank, there was this quote unquote insurance, but having in the market, there isn't. And now that's how you can get rid of all of the money. Like you don't owe anybody anything. It's just gone.
Well, remember in
Now
the stock
people-
market crash in the 20s, you couldn't get your money out of the bank. So
That's
that
what
wasn't a safe haven either.
True,
There was
but
a
this
run on
is
the banks, and that's what really caused the crash. Actually, was when everyone went to the bank at the same
to get
time
their money
asking for
back.
their money. Yeah, that's what caused the crash, not stock market shit, really. There's been bigger crashes, percentage based and value based, in the stock market since then. So, and it swallows it, just eats it up like it's nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, as an economy, right? So, like, I'm thinking globally, maybe as the U.S. being weak and saying that if that was the case and people, the majority of people started moving their money into the market, and then, like, as an economy, maybe even ours crashes and a market does crash, the
Yeah.
money is poof gone. It's even if it would be in the banks, but it's like, it's
Right.
easier, I feel like, to make things disappear when they're there.
Oh
You know,
yeah, in the market's the way they do it, but
it's like
also
poof,
it's
like
it's
that South Park commercial. Poof, it's
so
gone.
so there's two ways, right? Like you said, they can crash financial institutions and markets,
Yeah,
in like real estate markets, all that stuff. And they did that in 2008. And poof, like you said, there was trillions of dollars of value just gone, immediately just gone. And their books were even again. So then, it happens again. And then eventually it's going to happen again. So there's going to be another correction to the books. So like you said, you can crash the stock market like they did in 2008, or the other way that you can do it is you can raid the savings accounts of all the people that live in your country by inflating the currency. So if you inflate the money, you're actually getting to, okay, so for example, if the United States, they just printed $5 trillion, right? So if you have $5 trillion of debt that you add to the balance sheet, you have to pay that back at some point, correct?
yeah,
Right. So in order to pay that back, you have to get $5 trillion somehow by taxes or increasing revenues, however you get your revenues as a government.
yeah.
So instead of doing that, which is really, really difficult and not possible, what you do is you increase inflation, because that actually decreases the amount of money that you have to pay back.
Yeah.
So the 5 trillion that they printed this year, 100 years from now, will only be worth 1.8 billion, or 1.8 trillion. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not 1.8 trillion.
Sure.
So
I mean,
there you
that's
go.
how it
So
always goes.
that's how much. Well, that's only if inflation goes up. If inflation goes down, below 2%, you're actually increasing the amount of money that you need to pay back. So because the interest rates will go higher than that, which then increases the amount of money that you're on the books to pay back for. So yeah, the only scenario
But
where
in
this would,
theory, you're doing better at that point. Like, the theory is that, when that happens, like when the interest rates go higher, the
we
economy's
have
doing
no
better.
more
Blah
debt.
blah blah
Yeah,
blah
the
blah blah
debt's
blah.
way lower on the
Yeah.
government.
Yeah.
But when you have high debt, you want to increase inflation so that your debt is actually lower. You actually just
Yeah, I see what
carved
you're
out a
saying.
shit ton of your debt by doing just this currency move. And I'm not saying get your money in Bitcoin because of that. I'm not saying get your money in the stock market like that. I'm just saying you
It's
have
like
to
diluting shares.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what inflation is.
Yeah.
So what you got to understand is you have to know shit about money. You have to know shit about the government and about the
Gotta
markets
know
and what's
shit
going
about
on.
money.
Because if you don't, you're going to lose a shit ton of money, and you're always going to be wondering, why the fuck am I always so broke? Why don't I have any money? And they are literally stealing it out of your bank account while you sleep, and you don't realize it until you look into what the fuck is going on. So if inflation's at 2%, they're literally saying, here, we are telling you that we are going to take 2% of your money year over year, and you have to be okay with this. And you're like, okay. Then you get taxed at a certain percent year over year, and you have to be okay with this.
It's
And,
true.
and it just keeps going on and on and on. That's what I'm saying. You don't realize it, but then everyone asks the question, why don't I have any money? Why am I always broke? But no one wants to actually find any answers. No one wants to look into any whys, to the actual whys. They
Sure.
just accept it. They're just like, I guess that's just how it is. And then they hear other people repeat that. They're like, yeah, we get shit on. The 1% get it all. Well, the 1% might get it all. Okay. Yeah. They might make most of the money, and they might have most of the kick ass houses and all that shit. But guess what? That doesn't mean you should live like total dog shit. You should actually go for as much as you can fucking go for. Then have some fucking dreams, have some goals, go for as much as you can. Just because you don't make $1 trillion, or you don't become top 10 Forbes richest men in the world fucking list, doesn't mean you just say fuck it and go live in the streets. I mean, like, that type of mentality and that type of, like, boom or bust, or black or white, or you can't think like in absolutes like that, man. You know, you have to work some of them gray areas in order to have a happy life, because
Yeah.
the gray areas are where the happiness is, not in the absolutes.
That's interesting.
You know,
Well, everybody likes to talk about the process,
I'm
and
a
that's
process
and you could
dude.
say that's where the happiness lies, in the journey.
Yeah.
And I would say the gray areas, because the gray areas are like the every mundane days that get passed by. I was thinking the other day on my Spotify channel, something came up. It was a Christmas song. It was awesome. It was my favorite guy, Andy Williams, man.
Christmas in summer. Was
And
it a
again,
little
it came
Christmas in
up.
summer thing?
No, it wasn't a little. No, yeah, like all I want for Christmas is a real good tan by Kenny Chesney.
I never
I
heard
have
that
to
before.
admit that is such a cheesy song, but it's like also
Probably
I
kills
love
it.
it.
You know it, so that
Oh, I know
dynamite.
it.
Then that's all I'm gonna
So,
say.
but check this out. Yeah, I love how everybody has a Christmas album. So it came on and it got me in like this. I was in this one of those feeling moods where I was
Love
just
it.
like so reminiscing, and I loved it, and I could feel it, and I
Tuned
thought,
in.
I don't know, but I think, what if I tried to live that feeling every single day?
It'd be tough.
I
You'd
don't
have to
know if it would be
identify it.
tough.
You have to identify it, right? And then in order for you to once you identify it, then you
It's
have to make it replicable. So in order for you to make
Yeah,
it
you'd have to
replicable,
have
what
your
does that
house
take? You know what I
constantly,
mean? I
dressed
don't
like the
know.
North Pole a little bit.
But
No,
then
I think
does
you'd have to
that
have a little
change? You
area.
know?
I think you'd have a little area. Oh, I want to hear that. I think you'd have a little area that maybe reminded you of Christmas, or you'd have little things throughout the
Yes.
house, like little things that just kind of
Dude,
like,
I would love to have fucking themed rooms. How dope
yeah.
would that be? If I
But
had a gigantic mansion and all my fucking
you,
rooms
this
were
is
themed.
Jumanji. Don't go in there.
God, dog, it'd be like great. It'd be like, yeah, that's my beach room right there. That I painted the walls to look like the ocean. It's got the
You remember
sounds and
Brad
stuff and the
Toms?
fans. Yeah,
He went to school at Bradley, and he had us down in his fraternity, and every room had a different theme, and one was like
dude,
the moon room, and it was everybody
that's
put their mattresses
amazing.
down, and it was glow in the dark.
Yeah,
Then they had the
stars.
slide down a slide
Dude.
jello or whatever, slide
Yeah,
down
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing. It was legit.
bro. I'm telling you, man,
Man, it was legit.
that would be so cool.
But
Themed rooms.
that's what I'm saying. I don't know what
Everyone
I'm
would want
saying
to
at
party
this
at your
point.
house, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, that's the '70s room. That's the
Yeah.
'80s room. That's the
There was a
'90s
bar
room.
like that downtown Chicago. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
Shelter. And
That'd be
every
dope, right?
single room was like different. One was like
Themed.
a little bit cooler and it was like lit up more. And then the other one was like 70s dance. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, country western plus a club. But anyway, here, that back in the
I'd
day, I
love to
remember
have
those
that.
places. Well, were you gone by then? Wasn't there a big place back out west somewhere? I didn't really go to it too many times, but everyone would go to this joint. And I just remember when we'd get there
You
a little
started
early
that
because beers
shit.
were cheaper, right?
Yeah.
And we would drink some beers, and it was all these people doing land dancing with the cowboy hats on, and they're kicking, and they're dancing, and they're moving and stuff, right? And I'm just like, dude, this is hysterical. These people are fucking serious. It's a heart attack, bro.
Serious,
They're
man. And
on
some of them are,
point.
yeah, on
Yeah,
point.
on point.
I
And,
know.
and I'm fucking blown away, right? So, and I'm sitting there in my like
I love when you like
Italian
tap into a subculture like that for the first time and you're
out of
like,
nowhere, just like you
yeah,
just walked into some fucking, like you said, like themed universe, and it was like, and I'm in this like Italian wannabe outfit with like the Corcorans and
you're
shit,
in Westworld.
Yeah, and I with the collars open and stuff. We're like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah.
Hey, what the fuck? Get off our dance floor, okay? Your time is up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Give me this broad. Yeah.
Come on, get your cowboy hats, get you on your horses, and get you out of here, okay? Like it was at this
Giddy
one,
up.
like 10 o'clock on the nose. It was like it switched over from like
Yeah.
all the cowboys to all the club guys, and I was one of the club guys back in the day.
I know what you're talking
What
about.
place was that called? Do you
Mhm,
remember
I'll get
this?
it. I'll
was
get
out
it. It's
here
like
somewhere.
it's like something ranch. Seriously.
remember, dude.
Yeah. I've been there multiple times, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it would just be like,
Yeah, that's right. It goes from country bar to like,
and you're just like, what the hell just happened?
dude.
Yeah, it was crazy.
There,
But-
speaking. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. So I just got.
Oh, your little processor over there.
Yep. There's the processor, and not only
Nice.
that, but she brought her friend. Mhm. That's the
Who's this?
graphics card right here, but it's hard to see because it's still inside. But this is the graphics card right here. This is the thing that actually does the heavy lifting for you.
I was like, what do you need a graphics card? You don't have any graphics running.
Exactly. So because here's the craziest part.
Mhm,
The
mhm. He
graphics
asked it.
cards are
Yeah.
better at doing all the math and doing all the heavy lifting than these little ass processors are. So people don't realize
Oh.
that. This thing is is super super good for running like operating systems and shit like that,
Yeah.
right? But this is really good for running supercomputers because you can string a ton of them together really easy. You can buy them shit tons of them and for cheap. You can
Dude, you know what
freaking
I didn't think of? Payne's best friend, like literally his best friend Aiden, his dad is works on the graphics team at Intel. That's what he
yeah,
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
boom,
Or
that's
he
an Intel
manages
right
it,
there, baby.
manages a team. Yeah, I know. I saw that. That's pretty freaking dope.
Ninth gen.
Pretty freaking dope.
And check this out, Joel. So this is a 240 gig hard drive.
So
This is
impressed.
this is a hard drive that you'd put into
Look
your
at it.
computer, right?
Yeah.
It's a solid state hard drive, so it doesn't spin. So this is the drive that are in all the computers
Yeah.
nowadays, like Apple's and
It
everything like that.
sits. It doesn't
Mm,
spin.
Do you know how much this cost?
$89.
$29.
Yeah,
And they charge like $300 as you upgrade on these things.
when you upgrade that SATA thing on the Apple website, it's like a $300 upgrade.
It's $30.
Fucking prick teases.
$30. Like in your video. It's a $30.
Have you been practicing?
Dude, it hurts.
That's so good, man. I love that you did it 3 times because I know it hurt the second time.
Highway.
Yeah.
Highway. Highway. Highway.
He's so funny. Did you ever? I know you've seen 100 of them, but did you
It's
watch
so
the
good.
dongles one? I mean,
That's the one. That's the one I'm talking about with
Yeah.
Apple.
Yeah,
Just
that's
ripping
the
on
one I'm
Apple.
talking about. That's the one
Dude,
I was
that's
talking
what I
about on
was
the
just
show. You had no
imitating.
idea what I was.
Now
I know.
This dude's a fucking legend.
Yeah, legendary. I was like, oh my god, you haven't seen this Apple one? You're gonna flip
I
out.
was crying. Joel,
so
but wait,
beautiful.
let me tell the story. You
Yeah.
send me this video. It's late. And when I decided to watch this,
Yeah.
okay, because I put it off, and usually I watch your shit right away. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, I gotta watch that shit from Joel, dude. So I put it on, and it's really late, and I'm watching this, and I really think this dude worked for Apple. I didn't read anything. I just turned it on, and I'm really thinking, and I'm like, motherfucker's got like 2 teeth. He really worked for Apple, dude.
You're like, he must be brilliant.
Exactly. I'm like, this motherfucker's a genius, right?
Yeah.
And they're interviewing him in some Argentinian company. I don't know. Don't be racist. Just go with it. Like, and so I'm watching
great.
this shit. I'm watching. I'm like, it's totally plausible. I'm watching this shit, and I'm like, man, dude, I can't believe they would do that. Why would Tim Cook be like that?
Oh my god,
video,
that's
bro.
great. That's
And
great.
at the end, then I read what's up to find out who this guy is so I can verify this. And I see all the other ones.
Dude, that's
I
so
felt
funny.
like
You
such
of
an
all
idiot.
people. Oh my god, sorry for
I was
that.
dying, dude.
You of all
I was
people, because
dying.
usually you're joking with me and I'm
Oh,
taking you
and
all
I'm like,
serious
no,
shit.
motherfucker,
Yeah,
don't
you're
even
like,
click
dude,
that.
calm down. And like, yeah, and then now that's great because it's clearly some guy he's on like the password
Clearly.
set.
It's
He's like on the
clearly,
set of
dude.
password or something, right?
I don't know how I bought that shit, dude. I'm just like, that's what happens at 2:30 in the morning, dude.
You're
That's
like, this
why
guy must be a freaking genius. He's so smart. He works so hard. He has no time to even brush his teeth once, like because he's got just one hanging in the middle.
Tim Cook cracked the whip so hard. This dude couldn't even brush his fucking
He
teeth.
was so scared he wouldn't even leave the desk.
Damn, man.
That's why he's a lunatic.
Stock. I was about to sell my stock, bro.
They got this guy working over there,
Dude.
dude.
And in that video, and the guy's like, "So what did you do?" And the guy's like, "I bought a bunch of the stock."
Dude, did you see Billions and All? I have to ask you.
No,
Sorry,
no,
I've been
no.
bugging you on that. Just
No.
because it's like right up your alley. You might not even like the show, maybe, but it's like this battle between this hedge fund owner and then like the U.S. district attorney. And
Listen, wait.
it's good.
Remember when I was like, I said to you, I go, I'm gonna watch it right now, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't expect you to. You're in the middle of your
No,
work
I
day.
was. But listen,
Yeah.
so I had it on a separate screen on my little monitor setup. I turn it on, okay, and I got the volume up. And if you rewatch this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The
Okay.
very beginning of the very first episode is some fucking chick who's like a dominatrix telling this
Oh
motherfucker,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh motherfucker, because like
Oh,
the girls are home,
showtime, baby.
Rachel's on a
Showtime.
conference call, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
She's like, I will spank your little.
Yeah.
Like,
And
what?
I'm like, I'll watch it later. I'll fucking
Jenny
watch
and I
it
thought that too.
later.
We're like, wait, what are we getting into? But
I know.
dude,
I'm good to go. But that's what happened. That's why
you're
I didn't
gonna
end
love
up
it.
watching
I can't wait. We're in season 3, and the people are getting smarter. There's a smart person who you are gonna freak out about. It's so cool. It's so cool. Just like the way how calculated they are, and then like
I'm zoning you out now.
messing with stuff. Anyway, so
Hang on. Oh shit, bruh.
I'm talking about it.
No.
Let's see what we got cooking.
I'm the worst when it comes to that. Trust me. Whenever there's like something good, I'm like, no, watch this, because here's what happens.
Yeah, because then all of a sudden, and that's all I'm going to tell you. You're like, but you know what? You got to give them enough meat so that they like it. But no, you're not bad. My buddy Settle, this guy, he'll sit down with his wife, and then he'll go like what he did with Game of Thrones. He read the entire thing on Wikipedia, so he knew it was going to happen. I'm like, why would you spoil that shit?
No, I read the whole.
He's like, I went and read it all. I know everything that's going to work. He just went on Wikipedia and read it all while they were like watching it. I'm like, how could you not delay that gratification? Because that's like that's why people love these shows, because it allows them to delay gratification, to some extent, unless it's like you're binging 6 seasons in a night. But but remember when you'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe when we used to wait a whole week for an episode to come out. How could you wait a week?
They're going to start doing that again, I heard. And I'm like, you motherfucking serious, dude.
No, I think it helps people. It helps people be able to manage. We're so impulsive. Hey, speaking of it, which this is one of the journals. I know I've tried 5 or 6 different journals, but this one's actually working.
I was waiting for you to recognize it.
That was really good. I was like, I'm like, he's not moving.
Say something.
I was like, let's wait it out. I was gonna wait. I liked it. I was like, let's wait and see.
Keep going,
because he's gonna breathe here in a minute.
David Blaine holds his breath live.
That's like
Zoom.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
What were you saying? Keep
Pain
going.
will try. No, this Law of Attraction journal, dude, is Law of Attraction Planner has actually got its grips on me, which is nice because I don't know. I think it's all the heavy front end work that has allowed me to have this buy-in, because I feel like I'm doing all of the exercises and now I'm so deep in it that it's like pulling me into the day. So I'm excited about that.
You already invested some time, so you're like, fuck it, let's go.
Well, I'm excited about what the next question is, and I'm doing I'm leaving a question for the next day. I'm not trying to hammer through them like, oh yeah, what are my goals? What are my dreams? Like,
you got to remember to do my
get to the moon and do my sit-ups while I'm there.
Yeah, let's do this.
Forget about it.
I'm telling you, one day that's gonna be the thing where we're gonna run a marathon on the moon.
Fine.
Marathon
I mean, dude,
on the moon. We're gonna have the first marathon on the moon.
Boom, boom. My next thing is that Appalachian Trail.
Okay, let's start there.
But I don't know how, man. It's going to be a 4-month thing. I'm going to have to take pain.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's the toughest part. I'm going to try to retire. Here's my deal.
Let's hear it.
I'm in 5 years, because I'm going to try to retire in like 5 years or so.
That's a good idea. That's a good goal. 5-year goal.
That's what I'm going to do. If I grind, I got this. I'll have everything paid off. I'll have everything good to go. I can retire in 5 years.
Let's do that. Let's make that claim right now. I got No Booze Live, which is considered, like I told you on the phone, like my IPO. That is going live on Tuesday, September 1st. And like, I feel like it's an IPO kind of, right? I feel like, we're going to learn so much, but I mean, we're putting some marketing money behind it. We've got a lot of people that have gone through it, and we're going to give it a shot. And it's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to shoot us to millionaire status, but it might get enough money to hire a better designer, and then hire a little bit better, video editor that can make some better videos. Maybe,
learn and just
tweaking up the system. Yeah.
That's your goal. Learn, get better. And that's how you level up. So like, I'll give you this analogy, right? So when you're playing a video game, let's go old school.
I don't play video games.
Well, you just heard what I just said.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's go old school so that everybody that doesn't play video games anymore can still relate. Legend of Zelda.
Don't tell me what to do.
Does it ring a bell?
Yeah, I love Zelda.
Thank you. Okay, boom. Home run. So
up, Zelda. Down, up. No, where is it? I don't know what it is. How do you get through the Lost Hills?
This will work. Did you play Zelda and beat it on the first day?
Yeah, I was the only one.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know. Could you believe it? No.
Resident Evil.
No, dude, I hate all those games because they're too fucking hard. I could never spend because I realize you have to spend time. Like Doom. I
Okay.
like to play Doom back in the day. Remember Doom? That was
Ooh, you know
fun.
what, dude?
Mm.
I might use video games to psychoanalyze people. This is great. So
I like it. I
I'm
like it.
doing I'm doing some connectivity here.
Let's do it.
So you just said that you always hated those games because they were super difficult. Expand on that. Just that.
Yeah,
Keep
those
going.
games because I didn't play a lot of them. So I love the first player shooter games. But if you sit down like one time, right, to play one of these games and you
Well,
have 20
like
minutes.
Zelda, I'm saying
Yeah, Zelda. You sit
Yeah.
down to try to play Zelda, and you're like, first of all, you don't even know where the map is. Da, 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 da.
Yes.
You try to get, and then whatever. So it's not going to be any fun because you're not getting very far. But
Okay.
unless you're going to sit down and play day after day, you're never going to get
Yes.
very far.
Right, and you kind of have to make that commitment, right?
And you got if you're enjoying yourself, yeah,
Sure. And if
it
you
won't
want
be
to
a
get
big deal.
better, and like you said, you're enjoying yourself, you want to get better,
You'll
you
keep
see
showing
some
up.
you see some value in it, maybe. I don't know what
Oh,
that could even be, even
yeah.
if it's social status, even if it's I can brag to my friends because I beat the Legend of Zelda or I
Yeah,
got to
before they did. Yeah.
like you said, or in one day.
Yeah.
You that kind of popped off your lips right away. You immediately went for the status symbol. You see how that's what I'm talking about. So there is
Yeah.
some sort of value in it, right? So
Sure.
that's my point is in order for you to commit that time to get through all that stuff, you're not going to do it in one day. There is some sort of payoff in it in the end, blah, blah, blah. I think the same thing works with like your No Boost 30. I think the same thing works with the mining thing that I'm going to try out here.
Mm-hmm.
I think the same thing works with any little project adventure, your table thing that I was dogging you about last time. Any my Etsy store where I have the camera straps and all that shit, our podcasts, this podcast, everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You start with the 3 hearts, no shield, some wooden ass
Oh
sword,
yeah,
and a
that's right.
fucking tunic, and
Yeah.
you're just fodder. You just get your
Yeah.
ass whooped unless you're fighting a Jello mold, and
Oh
that's about
yeah.
all you can get, and then you have to find some coins that are stuck in trees and shit
A
because you don't have
Jello.
anything to offer anybody. So it's just like you're slumming. The slum was all slums, and then eventually you just grind this out, and
Jesus
eventually
shit.
you're like digging shit up and like selling fucking dirt to some lizard villager in the fucking village for a penny, and you do it 100 times for like 6 hours so you can buy the fucking tunic with the green writing instead, and this is fucking crazy,
Just to pick up a chick.
right. So but then eventually, like you said, 3 months in, you're fucking wearing gold-plated armor with fucking goggles that can see 16 miles,
Yeah.
26 swords, 500 different vehicles, and
Sprinting through because you know the code to get, to
yeah,
get
you could
out
just
of
vaporize sections of the fucking world in seconds. Like whatever you want to do, you're doing it. And I think that's like the perfect analogy for everything. And this has nothing to do with what you just said, but I think you can use like what kind of games that you're attracted to kind of see what you'd be more inclined to in a business world. So okay, so let me go with, now you know
Okay.
where I'm going with this.
Yeah, sure.
So you said that you'd be more inclined though to pick up like a Call of Duty or a shooter that
Those
you
are
could
my
just
favorite ones. If
okay
I'm not
go.
like so I liked Splinter Cell was great, where you're on your
Give me
own
some
and you're
good
sneaking
stuff.
behind and you're like,
Okay, all
and you're
right.
sneaking
I
around.
like
It's really
this.
stealthy, right? Like
Yeah,
ninja style.
keep going.
So let's
This
be
is
a
good,
ninja.
Joel.
Yeah. And I like that, even the Call of Duty and stuff like that. I mean, I'm very attracted to the
Whatever you
military
play.
games running around.
Okay.
That's fun.
What else did you like about or what did you like about the games that you liked? Keep going. Like just even if you just random thoughts and just think back as much as you
Exploring
can. I
was
know it was a long
cool.
time.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Exploring, just exploring around. You could go anywhere you wanted, and you could, it was all about just kind of being stealthy too, and being tactical. What was the one that? What was that game that had been out recently where the guy was like a monk and he was like dressed in like gray, and he didn't really have
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I played.
Yeah.
I had that too. That
Great
intrigued me, and I
Great
enjoyed
game.
playing that because that was a lot of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Big time.
yeah.
Big time.
So I'm not sure what other answers you want, but that's all.
Nothing. No, there's no right answer, no wrong answer. I just
Yeah,
wanted
I
you
know.
to
I'm
talk.
just yeah. So those are games I've played, but I do enjoy it.
So dope.
If I had
Yeah.
one, around, I would probably play it. I think like the Tiger Woods golf and stuff like that is
Yeah,
fun, but
super
it's such a
fun.
time commitment, and it's
It
like
is.
it's also kind of BS. I don't know. It's like I don't know.
It's a waste. It's like any other entertainment thing that in my mind, for sure. The only thing I like about video games versus static TVs, at least you're getting some hand-eye coordination out of it.
Yeah,
Something. Because I think that that was a big part of one of the reasons why me and you were so coordinated, growing up. And a lot of kids we
could
knew
be.
were so coordinated growing up is because we were one of the first generations to fully have video games as they not necessarily are today, but in the
Yeah.
same vein, you know what I mean?
No,
And where
that's
they're
really
played like
interesting.
that. So I think that that has a lot to do with that. It
I
really,
think
really
so.
do.
I think
Um,
so too. I
and
mean,
there's
I can't
studies to that.
think of like the countless hours that we just played baseball. I mean, me and Maholics and Ed, I mean, we had a
Real
game
baseball.
yeah, we had games daily. So like
Sure.
daily, we had park right there at our house. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's just the fact that we were constantly competing against each other.
But
And
then did you come back and play RBI
gosh,
on Nintendo?
yeah, then we would. Yeah, of course we would. We would
Yes,
do stuff like that on
exactly.
rainy days, and we would keep. It's
Yes.
funny. We were just training. You know what I mean?
Yes. And that's
The
what me and the
what
Corcorans would do as well.
what made me and made the leap and really was the rollerblading for me, because I didn't realize I was training with weights on my feet. I thought I was just skating, but I would go skate every single day. Then it made me faster. Then all of a sudden I could jump and grab the rim. And I remember parents are looking at me and going,
What the
"Where did
hell?
you been able to do
Yeah.
that?" And I was like,
Right.
"I don't know. I've been doing this I was skating for 3 years, jumping
You
ramps,
don't
doing
even
shit. And then
realize
all
it.
of a sudden
Yeah.
I was just like jumping out of the gym.
Yep.
It was really cool. But so
Yeah.
that was like,
It's Miyagi training.
yeah, that was a really great. It was a Miyagi training.
Yeah.
So I think like those, and you know what? That's perfect. That's a perfect example of the things that you and I talk a lot about. It's like just like all of this, like where something leads you to. It's like what
Yes.
Miyagi moment is going to come out of it, where it wasn't what you
Mhm.
wanted, but it was what you wanted, but you didn't see how it was going to come out.
Yeah.
A lot of these people talk about, and I'll bring the Appalachian Trail back into it.
No worries, man.
People go on these like vision quests, because
Yeah.
it can take anywhere from 4 to 6 months, and they're like looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of it, some of them will say, "I'm not sure if I found what I was looking for,
Yep.
but I'm definitely like, it did what it needed to do to a certain extent." You know what I mean? Because you'll never kind of know what you're looking for yet until
Right.
maybe it presents itself.
And that's kind of what you're looking for, though.
You're looking
for it to do what it needs to do.
for it to do what it needs to do. You're looking
Mm-hmm.
for a process. And I love this thing. And a lot of the people say there's nothing more comforting than being out there, because they knew, at least for another month or 2 or 3, they weren't having to go. They didn't say this, but they didn't have to go to work. They didn't have to work. There was
Nothing on the
they didn't have to
books.
worry about anything except for maybe where they were going to charge their camera, because they want to keep documenting this beautiful
Maybe next
thing.
step or something.
Yeah. And so whatever. So I love that. But then Jenny's intrigued by this walk. We're going to do this thing. And I like the 5-year goal. Payne will be at a good age.
Yeah,
Maybe he goes, maybe
exactly.
he doesn't.
It's timing. Timing is
timing.
everything
But-
in this world, bro.
So, so I was going to text her, she was in the other room the other night, and I was going to text her this little thing about like cool things that happen on the trail, or something to get her inspired, right? Something to just poke that little, like,
I do
hey,
it
this is
all
gonna
the
be
time
fun.
too, dude.
Yeah. Right. These little breadcrumbs. But when I type that in, the first thing that comes up is like
Death. on the
depression.
Appalachian-
No, like depression from trail blues. So like when you finish these things, people crash hard.
Because they have
and-
to go back.
Well, yes, but also they say it's proven that being out in nature increases your well-being
yeah,
and
yeah.
happiness.
And certain
So you
chemicals
are
and
like
shit.
soaked in nature for 4 to 6 months. Like
Yes.
it pulls from you. It's
100%.
weird.
It's
Yeah.
100% true.
So they're saying, like, first of all, some clinical psychologist was talking about, like, first of all, there's that, right?
I
And
guarantee
so,
it.
like, also then what some other people that were saying how they coped with it then, this one guy said, like, and of course you and I would do this and people would do it, but is like to create something on that trip. So whether you make something that you're going to sell, like a little thing like maybe that campers use, or you're going to document your trip so that when you get home, you have a
Definitely
project
do
to work
that.
on. Yeah. So you have a project to work on that revolved kind of around that trip. So it keeps
for
those
sure, I
good
follow you.
feelings, right? You know,
Yeah.
and then also then that will hopefully fill the gap till the next time.
And I'm sure you could probably figure out a ton of other shit if you just had that in your mind or as part of your to-do list while you
Oh, it
went
would
on
be
this
so
adventure.
fun. Can you imagine knowing beforehand though, and going on this trip, planning on like doing this, which well, of course would be documenting the
Yeah,
trip.
of course.
But how fun would that be? Uploading to along the way and like just creating this
And in
thing.
5 years, I got news for you. Because of 5G, it it will be insanity. Like you won't have to worry about you won't have to go somewhere to upload shit, or you
We'll be
won't have to
like,
worry
Tony,
about
show him what you can see. And then he'll be like,
just
look at the canyon.
dude, I heard Apple's coming out with theirs like soon.
With what?
Their glasses.
You know, I haven't heard really anything since Google came out with whatever
Yeah.
it was called,
It's
and
been on the
it
deep
kind of
down
got
low.
some bad reviews, But I
Yep.
agree. I think that's where it needs to be. And really, in Star Wars, where he'd be like TK421, he's like they were just talking to like these things. We never even
this
knew where they
communicator.
went. Yeah, we never even knew where it went. That because I would love to be able to just be like, I could tell, let's say Alexa or Echo or Siri or whatever. I could just be like, say this, write this, remember this, do this. I mean, Gary Vee talks a lot about the voice, and you can't be yelling it across the room. You know what I mean? Like, hey, play fucking, you know what I mean? Lionel Richie. It's like I think it needs to be more of a direct link to whoever we're talking to, whatever AI we're talking to.
Sure.
Because
well, I think that's kind of what they're doing nowadays. That's what I think.
I know you're going to go into the whole
Airbud
head thing, but
well, no, I think that'll be a whole different level, whole different discussion. But that's even way further. But I think the AirPod Pros or AirBud Pros or whatever the hell those things are called that you just got,
I just got them.
That it's just a matter of it's not even with the hardware is already there. It's the software, dude. That's the thing.
Well, that's
the voice recognition. Yeah, the voice recognition. Your processing of that information, the device that will process that information, whether it be a phone, whether it be a stick, whether it be just standalone earbuds and you don't need to attach them to anything else, or whether it be your watch or your glasses or whatever, that comes into play. There's so many factors that like a lot of people don't understand. Just to do proper voice recognition and to have it as far along as it is today is mind fucking blowing. It really is.
No, you're right. I mean, this is just the computer that needs to stay either in my back pocket or in the backpack. This is like R2D2, right? So it answers my questions, it books my appointments, and I don't need it I don't want to touch it anymore. I just want to tell it what to do. I want it. And you can, and you're right, it is getting better, but that's where it needs to be. It needs to be like this faster communication where I can just speak to it for me. And I think that, that's the channel where it's headed,
funny?
but
is same point. And it's so crazy that you bring this up because I was going to the range yesterday and I showed you that video.
Yeah, that was great.
I was going to the range yesterday and I was in a hurry because I was a little late. So I was pulled out.
Let's go.
No, on the way before. And yeah. Let's go. Let's hit it. Yeah, no.
I got 5 minutes.
Before. And I don't do that in the driveway, otherwise I get arrested. But before on the way, I didn't have time to put that shit in my GPS, on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
So I have my phone up in front of me and I'm in the truck and I'm driving and I'm like, fuck, I need to know exactly where this place is because I can't fuck around because I'm a little late.
Yeah.
So I was like, and I can't touch my phone now because I'm driving. So I was like, hey Siri,
thank you.
Tell me how to get. See, it works really good, dude. Yeah.
She's like, shut your mouth.
Sorry, Siri. Never mind.
Sorry, Siri.
It's
you think they
good,
track
Anthony.
what people abuse it? They're like, Siri, fuck you.
It's all good, Anthony.
Oh my gosh. You ever swear at it? Oh my
well, anyway,
gosh.
so I said the word, hey, I need directions to Gat Guns.
Yeah.
And boom, it popped right up. And my Siri is actually as an Irish dude.
Oh, mine's an Australian lady.
Here's the directions to Gat Guns, man. You're on your way, fool.
I love how he's like Irish, but also Jamaican.
Yeah. it's modern Irish. Modern Irish is what
it's mod Irish.
It's Conor McGregor. It's a Conor McGregor setting.
Yeah. Hey, bro. You're like, where's he Hawaiian?
Here's your directions.
Hey,
filthy animal.
Okay, so you've been in YouTube, soaking up in YouTube, and how often do you allow yourself to get off of the rabbit hole you're on when you see a comedy video or something and like what rabbit hole have you gone down recently where you ended up in a weird or just a different place? Like I've been watching a lot of stoicism things, a ton
on YouTube.
Actually.
I don't do that much. If I get them from friends, that's how I usually.
Then
see
sometimes
shit
you
like
up
that.
on a tear, yeah.
Yeah, so I get them from friends. I see them like that. If I if I'm hanging out with Dakota, she likes watching funny videos, so she'll watch some funny shit and show me some stuff.
Yeah.
We love ridiculousness, so we'll watch that. So we have like
So here's the
shows.
thing, like I would actually really like to do, and I'm think a ridiculous type show where we just talk about like essentially it's America's Funniest Home Videos.
Bam, bam,
How do you do it where you just talk about videos and make fun of it? That's so funny.
Well, they do. There's a couple people that Dakota follow on the iPad on YouTube where they literally will watch things and just talk about it as they're watching stuff.
That's
Kinda
what I
like,
wanted to do with the golf thing, right? Yeah.
crazy man. And
But
and they're huge and they make
Yeah.
tons of cash and they have tons of followers, but it's because of what they're saying, and sometimes they're polarizing. Yeah, they open themselves up to ridicule.
Yeah, of
Tons
course.
of people make fun of them, all that stuff. A lot of people aren't cool with that though. You'd be surprised. People are like, I don't care what people say about me, and then they're in the comments like, that motherfucker, and they
Yeah, I
make a
know.
ghost account and they're like, I will shoot you.
But that's when that's why you be a character. That's why I thought initially the show was going to be like, we were watching golf. Remember where it was going to start? We were going to kind of make fun of golf. And I was like, look, I can be Chip
Turn it
Crumbs.
on. I'm watching it right now. I'm not
Yeah,
even
like I could
joking.
be Chip Crumbs and like really say shit that I probably wouldn't normally say.
Yeah, don't get crazy, Chip. Oh, Chip.
As my wife is like, we were talking the other day, and I was like, yeah, Tony really leaned into me on that show last night. She's like, what the fuck? Fuck him. She's like, no, she didn't say that. She didn't say fuck him, but she's just like, why is he? What do you guys do? You're doing essentially like group therapy online. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, pretty much. I'm like, that's the best. I'm like, we're figuring it out. We're talking it out. We're
Oh,
what we're
yeah,
going
dude.
through. You're learning the market. We're learning ourselves. She's like, oh, we're just different now. She's like, I would never do that. And I'm like, I know,
You
but
have to.
we love
That's-
it. And
that's
plus
how
we're
you get
guys
better,
too.
dude.
Like guys they're wired different than girls. We're all like trying to solve a problem, fix the problem. Not that girls aren't, but like this show is
That's
about
true.
trying to solve problems.
That's
You
true.
know, like we're just trying.
We should just change the name to Mansplain.
Yeah, well, truthfully, I was in a meeting recently with leaders, and a new girl in that was on that team, on the coaching team, was kind of the job I wanted, but I didn't really pursue it.
So you're pissed at her
She's-
because she got your job and now you're gonna bash her. I see.
No,
where
because
this
I
is
didn't even
going.
try. I didn't even try because I didn't know if I would be there that long.
I'm just
and I
kidding,
didn't
go.
Yeah, I gotcha. Because if I wanted it, no, but she gets up there and she
I
said
would have.
something,
I would have went full
something.
Tanya Harding on her.
She goes mansplain, and she said it 2 or 3 times, and I thought, things don't offend me, but that's probably like something you shouldn't be saying, especially maybe even as a feminist, if you were. That's
We're
kind
not
of like,
changing the show title.
yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Mansplain. She kept saying it like in a group setting of leaders. I thought, anyway.
It's ballsy for sure.
Well, and she's a rook too. She's a rook.
Yeah.
These millennials come in, and I have to admit, I can say this
here we
because I've
go.
hired over 100 of them, that they are a little entitled,
Oh yeah.
but they say what they say is the good ones,
Mhm.
they're great. You know what I mean? Like
I agree.
Like
I could
the
see that.
ones that have a good work ethic, that have a good technology background, that have a grasp on like emotional intelligence, as well. That's a big deal. And so it just comes down to how they were raised, truthfully, if their parents were
It is.
engaged or not. You
Mhm.
know,
For sure.
well-adjusted kids.
9 times out of 10 it is. And
Yes, sir.
the other one is the American Psycho, like Kristen Bale in that movie.
Yeah. What about it?
That's the other one.
It's a great Christmas movie, by the way. I told you.
I would say it's a great all-around movie. You could watch it any time of the year and fully enjoy
I think
that.
you just became Jenny's best friend, actually, because when I tell her that, she's gonna want to give you a big hug. That's
Why?
like one of her favorite, because that's one of her all-time favorites. I
that
told you
is-
she brought it home one night for Christmas Eve. We all watched it, and then the family was like, "I think we have to turn this off."
Yeah, I mean, like that's a pretty deep one to go for Christmas. Like, Merry Christmas, drop an axe down the stairs.
God, he was
Butt
scary in
naked.
that one. He was scary in that one. I liked him when he played Batman. I like Christian Bale. I think he's great.
I love the music in that movie too. He's like Phil Collins.
Oh yeah.
He's
Well
breaking it
known
all
for
down.
before he left before he left Genesis.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
it's so good.
great. Huey Lewis in the News. He's like, right. I bet that soundtrack is amazing.
and then he it is, and then he's like got the plastic all laid out. And they're like, "What's the plastic for?"
Yeah. And that's when he's like talking about the music. He's like, but
Yeah.
they never came back from
Turning
their
it up.
sophomore album or whatever.
Mhm.
He's like,
It's a shame.
it's a shame. He's like- oh, that's solid shit, dude.
So crazy, dude.
Hey, you know what? This made me think of something quickly on the market. What's your take on this? Like, okay, the guys with the let's say
Big
the
dicks.
Apples and the Teslas, right? The ones that are
Oh,
just splitting
the
tomorrow.
the apples and the Teslas, the
Yeah,
big dicks.
the ones that are splitting tomorrow, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's get serious.
So, do you think that they knew about this what's going on at this time? And I mean, this was a reason for them to do what they did at this time.
No, because
No, I
stock
mean they're
splits are
smarter than
so
that.
rare, dude. Stock splits are so rare. They're so like just, pointless to it was a value thing more than it was anything else. The only one that's actually done this in the
It's a
last
business
20
tool.
years
Yeah.
was Apple. They're the only ones that have split in like the last 20 years. Most companies
Really?
reverse split because they're so shitty they need to fucking thin the pool. But yeah, no one splits anymore because you can buy fractional shares. Once fractional shares are introduced, anyone
Yeah, you
that's
didn't
anybody
have to do
understands
it.
that
Didn't matter
it's percent.
anymore.
Listen, what people don't
Fractional
understand is
shares is great.
right. What people don't understand is this: stocks do not trade based on a price. They trade based on percentages. People don't get that shit.
Hmm. Nope. You got me too. We'll
That's
talk
why
about
you
that
can
next
split
time.
a stock and you're good to go. It doesn't
You,
change the value of it. It just changes the percentages. That's
see,
it.
you heard it here, folks. If that's
It's not
does
worth anymore.
see,
You just cut the price and multiply the shares. So you just flip two percentages and that's it. When a stock price goes up and down, the stock market guys are like, they don't go, the Dow Jones is up 324 points and 26 cents. They're like, the Dow Jones is up 3.5%.
yeah, that's true. That's
Mm-hmm.
true. You know these guys. I can't tell you about it. If in case you
Whoa,
get
whoa, what do you got?
in case you get into that show, there's an IPO that comes out in that show, and I don't want to talk about it. So
What?
billions,
Oh, I got you. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
that's
Don't
three
worry. Don't worry.
seasons in, so you won't
Yeah.
find out until next week.
Okay, okay. No, no, no.
Guys, I'm gonna run, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna
Yeah, it's
plug
about
this.
that
I
time.
want you to plug something too. So I'll be finishing up with
Let's do it.
planner that you're putting out. We got
Yes.
Nobu's live going live on the 1st of
Yes.
September. When's your
Ooh.
planner going live? What's happening with this? Can we talk
I'm
about
gonna
that?
yeah, I'm gonna do a little podcast action here, and then I'm going to announce it on that. And
Nice.
that is Travel Photography Life.
Yeah.
And you can find it on all major platforms, all that jazz. Then once you listen to that podcast, you'll know how to get into my giveaway for my Bitcoin.
Yeah, I
I'm
love
gonna
that one.
announce the winner if there is any. I gotta figure out who won my stock market book. So that's coming up because it's the end of August already, which is crazy. And then
Cuckoo.
I will mention your No Boost 30 and everything like that. But I got tons of stuff going on. So we're just going to keep grinding on there. And then I'm going to put it up on my Etsy store where I have everything else. And you know what's crazy, dude, is I'm getting like 6 orders a week on camera straps now. It's
Wow.
insane. Yeah,
That's great.
it is. And so my Etsy store is the Nebula Camera Shop. And you can find it, like I said, just through Etsy, or you can just type that into Google and it'll come right up. And I got a ton of other stuff on there. Hats. I
Dude,
don't know if I have any more shirts left.
I'm
But
telling you this, if you're not doing something like that, so I have like pausing. I don't know why I'm putting up just I have a couple stores up. I have an Etsy store. I've been selling things on eBay from time to time. And if anybody like hasn't really jumped on or they've sold ones or twos here, just test something. The other day I made a shirt that said vote for Kanye and it looked like vote for Pedro. And I listed it
Nice.
on eBay and I just got a sale the other day, but I
Nice.
canceled it out because I didn't make the shirt yet. I just want to see if
Gotcha.
somebody would buy it. It might be
You
a little
know,
misleading, but I could get
but
that thing
just get
printed
it on.
on
Yeah,
Printify right now. Like I've already have it
something
designed.
cheap, or
So
what is it, 8 hour tees or whatever it is, you see
yeah,
those
there's
billboards?
Teespring. There's
Yeah,
a
or whatever, there's a
and
bunch of places you could have them just do it as the orders come
yeah,
in. You
there's
never have
print
to
on
do
demand,
nothing.
so your
Yeah.
profit margins aren't that high. But the point is, like, so Tim Ferriss even talks about in the 4 Hour Work Week back in this was in this was early 2000, right when that book came out, and he talks about testing, like test items when you run an ad and see if somebody clicks on the I want to buy that shirt, and then if they
Before you
do,
get balls
yeah,
deep into
then
it, yeah.
then put in an order for 1,000 shirts. And more,
Yeah.
it's like, but just to your point, like put something out there because these things sell, and $25 a day turns into, 250 a month.
And it's all just free cash flow that's coming in that you will make work even better. So
Yeah.
what I was going to ask too is real quick is the
Yeah.
video that Rachel made in order to explain it to help me
Yeah.
out. I'm going to put it up on this channel so
Yeah,
that
great idea.
people get redirected to this channel and then they can watch it through here. I'm going to leave a link in my Etsy store in the description with a spreadsheet for your mortgage payoff, for your, my
Nice.
covered call spreadsheet. I'm going to have the one that I sent you, which is like a full year budget, a budgetary spreadsheet. And we got one more that we're working on too, but at least those three. So the mortgage, the budget,
Awesome.
and the covered call are going live tonight. and then I will and then I'll have all those links up on our YouTube channel here as well.
Dude, that's
And
so great.
and then hopefully
And you
we
know
can get
what?
some watchers as well.
I think so. And I'm taking that 25,000 step video and I'm going to take a step back with it. I wanted to rush it out, but you know what? 6 minutes is not long enough. I think it needs to go back to like 12, and I think it needs to have a little bit more value in it.
Just do it
Yeah.
up.
You know what I mean?
Keep,
Like, because
keep
I've been
tweaking
watching it and been watching it and been watching it, which is to your credit, because you're always like, dude, you got to watch your shit. You got to watch your stuff. So I
Yeah.
watched it like 30 times and I'm like,
Pick it
it's
apart.
fun, but it needs just a little bit more value
Maybe a
because
little
I
more.
watch these videos. Yeah. And I like to grab a couple nuggets out of it. So we'll see.
You could always do it in chunks too. Like, what if you released?
Oh,
And
I
I
like
don't mean
this.
to
What do you
keep.
think?
I don't
Yeah,
mean to
you're
keep
good.
keep you. But
fine.
if you make a cut a 6 minute chunk out right now, or like a
Okay.
like a
I got a
let's
6 minute.
no let's say like a 5 minute chunk. This will be make me do the math easier. You might have different time ranges, but just for my example, cut a 5 minute chunk out, release it, see how it does, keep working on shit. Then cut another 5 minute chunk and add some of the stuff that you wanted to change or that you saw that that worked or didn't work,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the feedback that you get. You're not going to make drastic changes,
Yeah.
but you're going to be able to tweak it. Then release another part. So this way you're going to get 3 times the views,
Yeah.
and you're going to have the ability to kind of, like you said, test something, fix it, test it again,
Are they
then fix it, and you're
are
not
they
delaying the release.
are
So
they all
because
the same video though? They're just
it's all about the
improved upon.
25,000 steps, but you're releasing
Yeah.
it in 3 parts instead of 1. And here's why.
Oh,
Because
like a
most
beginning, a
people,
middle, and an end, actually?
well, just part 1, part 2, part 3, and there doesn't even have to be a rhyme or reason to it. You can cut it however you want, but here's the reason why you do it like this.
Okay.
Because if you release the whole 15-minute video at once,
Yeah.
you're going to constantly be like, it's not good enough, I should change this, it's not good enough, I should change that. And then when you release it, you're going to be like, shit, I wish I could have changed some stuff. Look at, I was right, I shouldn't have released it, it wasn't ready. Then you might pull it down, or you might try to change it again, but then it takes another 2 months before you
Yeah.
repost it.
Yeah.
And it just turns into a 7-month fucking mess.
That's
So
what's
if you
going on.
exactly, so you release 5 minutes right now, and you just, whatever you have, however it's cut, you release
Yeah.
it. Then you start working on the next 5 minutes, and you give yourself a deadline too, because that's the only way shit's going to get done. And
Yeah.
once you release that first part, you can say on the show, I will release part 2 in 3 days. Now, if you let your audience down, they're not going to come back. And then that's, a choice you're making. So
No.
you're putting yourself on the hook. You're giving yourself a time frame. There's an accountability factor in play now. Plus, it's already started. You're already getting views. You're already getting times, played. You're already getting subscribers. It's going. That's the key.
Yeah, no, that's key. Well, I'm putting that. My goal was to put that up on our page. I didn't want to put it there while I was working on it because I wanted to hide it, even though I could hide it. So I'm going to go put it on ours now because I want to drive traffic to this channel. I mean, we're going to have so many great things coming through here, guys. So
yeah,
nice, good tips.
Got some
Thank
stuff,
you.
But
Yeah, excited
that's it.
about
I just
that,
wanted,
dude.
I just wanted to give you, and you know what? You might be able to get to a point eventually where you do just release the full 15 minutes. But to start, you start getting, like that chunky, step into this thing, and then boom, then take off.
That's right. Because I'm already on my second platform. Like I'm moving from iMovie, now I'm in Premiere Pro. And it's like, so your skill starts going up.
And I love your video technique and how you're filming with way more shit in mind now. Like you're thinking about the shots, you're thinking about the time, you're thinking about where you are, what's in the background, your lighting, your face, your voice quality, the framing of your fucking head. So you're not like, you're not doing one of these. Yeah, Joel. This podcast,
I know. That's
great.
like how my whole 25,000 step was. I was like,
podcast. I love this podcast. It's like, dude, don't you understand that it's way better if I can see your full fucking, no, I'm not saying this about you, but like you see this shit all the time
of course.
on YouTube, and you're just like, come on, dude.
Well, that's when you see some guy who just plops, he'll be out in his garage with like poor lighting, and he'll be like, here's how you strip the paint off a thing. But the guy's got 45,000 views, and you're like, good for him.
Well, it's because he's the only one doing that. That's
well,
why.
true. And my point is like, so when you think you might only be the only one doing it, then
just
do
put
it.
a little value. Yeah. And if you put even if you don't put that's what I mean. Even if you don't put that much value, and even if it's just a little value, just do it. And then you might get that 45,000. You'd be like, shit, I should buy a better camera. Then you buy a better camera and you start getting into it a little bit. I should get Premiere Pro, like you're saying. I should watch a YouTube video. Next thing you know, this motherfucker's a millionaire because he released some video how to strip paint and off this fucking piece of metal in his barn. You know what I mean? Off this shitty ass fucking.
No, dude, you're totally right. Then he's sitting in a badass barn. I got a question for you. So TikTok, right? Did that go away? You have younger daughters. That's why.
Well, I know that some places are going to ban it or something.
I thought it was banned, or
I don't know exactly what's going on with it, but it's because the Chinese always want one of the government officials in the companies in order to monitor everything. You know, their finances, what they're doing, intellectual property, all this shit.
Slapping people. Okay.
Yeah, they force their decisions on them, stuff like that. That's how their country works. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying I love China. I'm not saying I hate China. I'm just saying how it works.
Can't please everybody.
Yeah. I don't know which way I want to go.
So, hey, hold on. Okay. So that being said, now that I blacked out again, I can't remember. Oh my gosh, dude. You have to just take it on a tear, don't you? Don't you?
It's all good, man.
No, hold on. Where were we going? What were we talking about? Give me back, because I actually had a really good point. It was something about China.
No, I was saying that hang on here.
China.
That when they have TikTok has Chinese reps in their back. I'm sorry. I was sliding down in my chair like this, and it was giving me the worst fucking wedgie of all time, dude.
I was like, where's he going? All right, so TikTok. The thing is, people, what people can use for TikTok, because I've been doing some like fake TikTok videos in my bathroom the other day. What? And I'm like, well, where can I post these? I can't post them on TikTok anymore. So where would people like doing those things? So they want to do that.
Instagram has the new feature.
It has a feature like that? Oh, there you go.
They stole
I knew
the
you would
TikTok
know.
feature.
The TikTok.
Yeah. It just
kids
came
with their Tic
like a month
Tacs.
ago. They just stole that TikTok feature. The TikTok. And you know what?
That needs to be your guy on the golf show right there.
It's called. And
like, you're always like, I want to dip my balls in it.
I'm gonna dip my balls in there, even if it's cold. Hang on, real fast. I'll look it up for you, Joel. What?
I gotta go.
Watch this.
Hang. No, that's Siri, fine. I want to wait.
What's the new Instagram feature?
Okay, I found this on the web for what's the new Instagram feature.
Hey Siri, stop.
Hey Siri.
Okay. Hey Paul.
That's not what I want. I'm gonna look it up myself.
I love, so you should be able to name it anything you want. You shouldn't be stuck calling
Siri.
it that. But I understand it has to prompt it. But so like in the Amazon thing, we changed it to Echo, from Alexa to Echo in the kitchen. But then the other one is Alexa. What is it?
It's called Reels. Keep going.
Oh, is it? I was just buying time where you figured out what you're doing.
Yes, Reels. Reels is the new TikTok for Instagram.
Oh, Reels.
It's the knockoff. It's the ripoff. Instagram got it. Essentially killing TikTok. TikTok is going to go bye-bye, and everyone just use. They did the same thing to Snapchat.
MySpace, Snapchat. Yeah, Snapchat kind of fell away. So I just knew that. I figured you would know because your girls are in that space. But I wanted to know where I could post it. I was doing some little funny little meme things, and I can't wait. You know what I was doing, Charlie? I was taking video of me like lip syncing different things, and I'm gonna do some stuff with the Beastie Boys and whatnot, and then those will be my cuts when I do jump cuts. It'll be like, this right here, your little floating head,
your interludes.
Yeah, my interlude, my transitions will be like,
I love your.
I ain't got time for that.
Your transitions.
Hey, where would I find out how much? Because there's a song I want to play sometimes at the end of our show, and I want to let it play out. So I'm going to try to find out how much, if I wanted to play So Many Tears by Tupac, how much that would cost me to play it.
Ooh, that might be tough.
You'd be surprised.
Some of the big stuff, I don't know how that works, but I
thought
if I want big stuff is tougher than the.
If I want 35, 40 seconds of it, they say top 40 is expensive.
Because I don't know how YouTube does it, because I think that they would flag it and make you prove that you got authorization. They would.
No, I want to get authorization. I want to pay for it. I want to do it right.
I'm saying. Even if you did it and you used it,
Yeah.
YouTube would still take it down, and they
Yeah.
would make you prove that you got that copyright or that
I'll proof it.
authorization, and paid for it. And it would be a pain in the dick. But I would look it up. I would look it up first. How do I use,
Well, I've been down the road a little bit and finding
Yeah,
some
what did they
things,
say?
but a lot of times they're saying if it's a top 40 song, it's going to cost you. There's stuff, obviously that still holds value, but
that you can use on YouTube though. You put that in the search results.
that I'm not sure. I'm digging in.
Right.
There are a lot of places that have tons of great music.
Right.
Like,
of course, I could
that
get any song
that is
you pay
not.
for.
Yeah, you've never
Yeah.
heard, but is
Sure.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you could pay like $40 a month and play.
I could get any song, I know how to get any song that's top 10 right now, but I don't think you can use those on YouTube is what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I want to be able
Regardless, even if you pay.
to do that somehow.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to play the songs we like, and if I can pay for them somehow, then that's fine. In fact, I looked up my ASCAP. I'm a member of ASCAP. That's ASCAP and BMI pay royalties, right?
Nice.
Well, I have songs I've published from a while ago that I forgot.
Sweet.
Don't even look. It's been
Yeah.
years since I looked. It looks like I had a spot on like a Korean TV show. I made like
Nice,
$30.
dude.
Yeah, and then like in Norway, my song's been played a few times, and I got paid at like $17.
Nice.
Like, so there's like $90 in there of like the last 10 years, and I didn't even know where it's coming from.
Cheers, man.
It's so
That's what I'm
cool.
saying, just random fucking cash, bro.
Random shit.
Random cash.
Well, thanks,
But go do your
brother.
thing, man. I kept you way too long.
No, this was beautiful. I loved it.
All right, we'll party again soon.
All right, man.
Peace.
Peace. Later, y'all.